Hey guys, how's everybody doing this? I thought I would go live this morning just to talk and to see how everybody's doing and all of that. Yeah, this is first time going live on here, so bear with me just a little bit. uh, haven't done this in a while to see how it all works and stuff. But anyway, so I am just going to be real and honest with everybody this morning. Um, yeah, I've been having some stuff go on. You guys know that I talk a lot about anxiety and fear and PTSD and all of that, and there's been a lot of that going on with me right now. Um, I know that on camera I probably sound I try to sound excited, try to sound, like everything's okay and all of that because I want you guys to, experience that. I want you to know that you can be free. But I want you to know that sometimes, life can just throw some curveballs at you and it can be a little difficult at times. Um, as most of you know, if you've been watching a lot of the channel and a lot of what's been going on with me, some big influences in my life is really uh, Peter Scazzaro and John John Mark Comer and those type of people. Henry Nouwen, I read a lot of them, and I one of the books that really stands out to me is John Mark Comer's um, his book on busyness and and everything. And the other day, I just want to tell you a story. This is when it kind of all started for me anyway. The last few days. Um, so me and my wife's Tracy, we went to Costco, and we got there around the time when they've started this new program with business owners and the executive whatever where you can get in an hour early. And so I still have my old card. It doesn't say executive membership or whatever. My wife's got the new one, and we both did it at the same time. And there wasn't really a confrontation or anything. It was more or less, oh, you need to get a new card. And it's like, okay, well, my wife's got this one, so we're just going to use this one. And so we went on in and stuff. And then as we're walking around, I'm kind of the person that just kind of walks. I meander. Let's put it that way. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not trying to be in a hurry because what I've come to realize is that when I get in a hurry, I start to get anxious and I start to get um, everything starts to kind of come back, you know. And so we're walking around the store. My wife now, on the other hand, she goes at like 100 miles an hour. And when we're out walking, sometimes by ourselves, uh, we I grab her hand just to slow her down, and that that keeps me calm when I'm kind of in control of how I'm going. And for some reason at Costco, this wasn't the case, and it was like she was moving and going and walking fast, and I'm trying to keep up, weaving in and out, and I'm like, we can just slow down a little bit. We shouldn't be in a hurry. It was a busy day to begin with because um, it was my daughter's birthday too, and we were going to a birthday party, going to Olive Garden after that, and some other things, and it was like, man, it was just a little crazy, and I felt all the old anxiety just begin to come back. Um, I felt the irritability, uh, being irritable really start to come back, and I was um it was really crazy. Um, and when I'm talking on this channel, everything that I say is true. I mean, it's speaking to my soul, it's speaking to my heart, because I've learned, even listening this morning to John Mark Comer, and he's talking about practicing the way, and he's talking about how, he was talking about the Matrix, and this is what how I related it to was, you know, in the Matrix, Neo and Trinity are on the rooftop, and they need a way out, and there's a helicopter, and she can't fly a helicopter, so Tank downloads it to her, and it flutters and all of this stuff, and sometimes we think that we feel like Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit, they just need to download that to us, and there's no, it just immediately goes away. Well, it doesn't. We have to practice it. We have to practice the things that we teach and the things that we do, and everything that I tell you guys and everything that you guys watch on this channel. um it's things that I practice, I put into practice. Here lately, I haven't been hiking as much. Part of the reason, because my feet have been just really in bad shape. They're starting to get better now. I went to the VA and went to the podiatry, and they're sending me some insoles, you know, just for my feet. So I'm hoping that will help. But and it's not getting light here too early in the morning anymore, so it's harder to do that. Hence I'm here at the office at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's still dark outside. Um, but anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. Uh, so we have to practice the things that we preach. And I put out a video here. Um, it was actually after we went to Costco, and it was about the three things. Is be praying and all of that, and it was just a little short, and so I'm sitting in the truck, I'm recording this, and I'm like, man, I'm still feeling the same way. And I get home, and or we get home, we get unloaded, and I'm a little snappy. I was snappy yesterday too, and it wasn't intentional. It was just that I didn't feel, um I just wanted to be left alone, and all of that. I didn't want to engage. But anyway, so when we got to Olive Garden, I'm sitting there on the bench, and we're waiting, and I'm doing good, and I'm feeling pretty good, and I just start going through my breathing stuff. I'm doing a 4 count in, hold, 4 count out, hold, back and forth, back and forth. I did that for a couple minutes, and I started really feeling a lot better. Um, Sat down at the table with all the kids. It was really good to be with all the kids. You can see my Facebook page, my wife's Facebook page, to see all that. But it was good just being there. But then later on, it's the same thing. Uh, Keeps coming back. And even this morning, I woke up at 2 in the morning. I was I was just thinking about doing this video, and just really talking about it, because even last night I snapped at my son. I mean, it it wasn't really a snapping. It was more just being an a hole, I guess you could say, just to really put it bluntly. Um, and for that, I've got to apologize to him today. We're going to spend some time together. I'm taking him to Sam's Club to get his eye appointment and all of that stuff. And but it was it's not intentional. But like John Mark Comer was saying this morning, that you have to practice these things. You have to continually put those things into practice in order for them to get down inside of you. You know, one of the things that he pointed out this morning was that we don't, when Jesus walked the earth, we don't see him really healing anything to do like psychologically, psychological stuff, like our anger and all of those things. It was more or less the physical needs. Now there is demon possession where he was casting out demons and all of that. But after he healed people, what did he do? He told them to go do something. And how many times do we not go do anything? And we just rely on going to church and getting that quick fix of dopamine in our lives, and we just continue on, and we don't do anything about it or do anything with it. And yeah, it's crazy, when you think about those things, and we think about how church is and stuff. But so anyway, I'm gonna pull up something here on my computer, and so I have been working on some projects. I have several that have been in the works. Some of you may have um, seen my, when you look at my videos, you see my 7-day reset. I don't know if anybody, I don't think anybody's taken advantage of that free resource. I also have a couple other ones that are going to be coming out pretty soon. Um, but I do have there's a full community at the redeployed at jointheredeployed.com, and you can join that community, and in that community you have access to some other resources that are coming available. And those resources are, so I've got a 40-day daily connection guide that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And if you join the community, you'll be able to get that with that. I've also have, if you are interested in walking through how to be redeployed, I have a 9-week course that's going to be coming out also on that same platform that will help walk you through how to be redeployed. It's using, pretty much the same principles of emotionally healthy discipleship. Uh, John Mark Comer, Henry Nouwen, a lot of those guys that I follow, and how to really, really dig deep down inside of yourself and see what's going on. Yeah, I'm getting ready to do the next course in, I think it starts in October, or actually September maybe. The emotionally healthy relationship course, which is the second leadership one. But those two things are going to be coming out, and then there's also, I am working on a pseudo textbook kind of, that goes along with the redeployed. So there'll be 3 different resources that you can check out and look. You can get those by joining the redeployed. If you go to jointheredeployed.com, you'll find those in the on that page. There'll be a pop-up that comes up for the 7-day soul reset, which is something that I had that came out. And also, that's a 7-day. You get 7 emails. I'm walking you through the devotional series and stuff. The 40-day journey is more or less kind of a trail guide, and it's really a cool thing. Daily, it's almost like the daily. It's really, I would consider it the daily office. It has scripture. It also has some. Let me just pull it up, and we'll go through one. because I've been thinking about that also. Is maybe even on these, if I start doing live calls or going live, we can go through one of these a day or whatever. But so so day one, this is just an example of day one. So uh, this is all leading to you being redeployed. So if you're struggling with anything in your life, if you're struggling with burnout, struggling with who you are, and all of that, this is what it consists of. It takes you from day one to day 40 to being redeployed, and it goes right along with the 9 weeks course, which will also help you through that. There's also going to be some things for your spouse that you can talk through and work through, and they can understand where you're coming from and what's going on inside of you. So day one, it says symptom one, using God to run from God. Uh, draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. It's James 4:8. The reflection is, if you've ever felt like your prayers are just hitting the ceiling, or that God feels miles away in the daily grind, this guide is for you. Maybe you're a pastor who's burnt out, or a veteran carrying unseen wounds, or a father trying to lead while silently bleeding. I've been there. That feeling of spiritual dryness, or talking and talking, but hearing nothing back from God, can leave you feeling distant, lost, profound, alone. My own journey from feeling isolated to feeling connected wasn't an overnight miracle, but a slow dawn where I realized my effort to connect with God was based on performance, not relationship. I used to treat the creator of the universe like a divine vending machine, putting in my prayer coins and expecting a certain feeling to pop out. But God isn't looking for a performance. He wants your presence. He doesn't care how many miles you log or how many spiritual boxes you checked. He wants you. Stop trying to feel connected and just show up. Don't filter your prayers. Be real. Let Him love the raw version of you. And then there's a trail focus or outpost insight. We call the community the outpost. It's where you can be around other people and stuff. But as you begin your walk, this is for hiking or walking or quiet time or just sitting by yourself. Remember that your soul doesn't need more religious task, it needs space, rhythm, and real connection, often found in the quiet, unfiltered moments away from the noise. This is about cultivating presence, not manufacturing a connection. Then there's a journal prompt. Where do I feel like I'm performing for God? What would it look like to just be with Him today, even on this walk or in your quiet time? So you sit there and you would reflect on that. Like for me, where do I feel like I'm performing for God? For me, sometimes it's just being around my around people that know me, and really just not being my real self. My kids, they see my real self most of the time, but there are times when I put on that facade, and I'm not that real person. There are times I have to go back and I have to apologize to them, or even my parents. Usually the people that really know me, I'm not performing for God. They see the real me. But those that I may come in contact with, if I see you walking down the one of you guys walking down the street or whatever, I might be just performing, and all of that. There are people that I know and that I talk to that would see through that. So that's what this is about. Even like the next one is, what would it look like just to be with Him today, even on this walk? For me, when I'm out hiking, even if I'm hiking with a group, because most of the time I'm sleeping even with a group, but um, I'm like, okay, God, hey, join me on this walk. Let's walk. Let's Jesus. Let's go. Holy Spirit, I invite you into this time. And then I just shut up. I don't say anything. I don't say anything in my mind. I don't say anything out loud. I just walk with Him. you know, and that's what it really looks like for me. Um, then the last thing on day one is action step. Start a prayer journal, write one honest prayer today, leave the next page blank, and ask God, what do you want to say to me? And then sit quietly, listening for His whisper and not a shout. Just listen. You know, it, it it's crazy that most of the time we spend so much time making noise that we don't listen to listen for His voice. Um, I think that's part of the reason why Paul in Corinthians 13, clanging cymbals that just brought clanging cymbals and gongs. It just brought that to my mind. But I was yeah, it's just I sometimes it's just good to be quiet and not say anything. And sometimes silence is the best way to go. Um, it keeps you out of trouble. And with God, at least you can hear what He's saying, and you know that uh, He's there. So, anyway, I digress a little bit further down this, but it's a good morning, and I appreciate each one of you who will be watching this. Nobody's on the live stream right now, so anyway, but hopefully, future live streams. If you want this to be a regular thing, if you just happen to come across this today, or the next day, or the next day, if you are a regular subscriber or whatever, um, and you want to see me go live on YouTube and walk through some of the things that I struggle with or that I go through, just let me know. Let me know in the comments. Um, Give me a like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. There's a ton of people that are watching but not subscribing. Had over 100,000 views on the channel uh, in the last 90 days, pretty much. Or actually, yeah, 90 days. I've been on 4 months. For 4 months I've been on YouTube. This month has been the best month. I've got 60,000 views, over 300 new subscribers and stuff. But I encourage you guys. If you like this content, if it's encouraging you, awesome. If it's not, okay. It's fine with me. But it's you know just um, keep the faith. You know, Let me just pray for everybody right now. That may come on and may watch eventually. But dear Lord, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for each and every person, Lord, that comes across this video. Those that may watch it, those that may just skip over it. I just pray that you will just bless them, that you will be with them, that you will touch their lives today. Those that are struggling with, those veterans that are struggling with PTSD, anxiety, maybe some fear, depression. I just lift them up to you right now because they're not alone. I struggle with those things too, but I have to practice on a daily basis. I have to practice being with you and make it a daily effort. And Lord, I just thank you for each person that has tuned in, that has liked, that has commented, that has been around the channel since it started. I just thank you for each one. I thank you for those that are coming, and I thank you that I can be either an inspiration to people or an encouragement, whichever it is. And I thank you for those. I thank you for everyone. And Lord, I just love you and I praise you. In your name I pray. Amen. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the 7-Day Soul Reset, I encourage you to go to join the redeployed.com. There'll be a section. It'll come up as a pop-up. Fill it out. You'll get 7 days free email. You'll get 7 days of emails explaining each day. You'll also get a PDF that has all the teaching that goes along with it, and also all the prompts and all of that. Um, you'll also be getting alerts, or I'll be talking more about the classes, the Redeployed, the Outpost. So at the top of the web page, there's a tab that says the Outpost. that is a place that you can go. It's a safe place to go to share and to hang out and all of that. Um, so anyway, just trying to build a community. So I will be talking to you guys next time. Like I said, leave me a comment if you want to see more um, of the more me live streaming stuff. Hey, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you want to see, how much you want to see, and all of that. And I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great day. Hey, just remember, you're not disqualified.